the clickers were issued to us before we left. We had them in training, and they instruct us to use them only in emergencies, where we were really lost or whatever. Now, this was the only communication we were going to have after the jump, in case we needed. It was a lifesaver because this helped us to reorganize and get together and get our proper equipment. The enemy, of course, had no way of knowing how to answer it, but we did, and we clicked it, like I said before, one time, and the partner will hear that, and he would answer. So we normally use this in patrols. In combat, very seldom, unless we were in doubt that our partners were not around. But in patrols, we use it constantly. So anyway, I'm walking on the road with my column, and a machine gun opened on us. And this time there is no hazard to go to the other side like when I got lost. It was just open road. But they had a big ditch right. That's one thing. When there is a road, you can be sure there is a ditch. So it opens up on me, and I hit the ditch, and I lay there. But not after I lay there, 88 guns start dropping right next to me. And when you're in combat for a little while, you begin to get familiar with the sound of the different weapons. If the shell is going to hit close to you, you hear it very loud. If you hit it less, it's further away from you. But as you're running and you jumped and you hear the coming in, but real fast. And when that did it, when I jumped the ditch, I heard it real loud. And he must have landed very close to me. Well, he must have, because when it landed, the shrapnel shoots all over the place. But if you're below ground, you miss it. But if you are standing or walking or running or doing, it'll hit you. And sometimes it hits you pretty bad. Well, I hit the ditch, and one of those shrapnels hit me half-inch from my spine. And when it hit me, it's just like if someone came with a baseball bat and hit me real hard. It knocked me out for about 30 seconds. It must have been about that, or maybe less. Everything darks out on you. Well, when I was there laying, I didn't want to panic. I don't want to get panicky. So I said, oh, I'm going to take a drink of water or whatever I have in my canteen. And I reach, and no canteen. And I get so mad for that. Oh, the so and so, they blew my canteen out. And here I am worried about the canteen. And then when I reach and see my hand full of blood, there was no more canteen anymore. And I lay there. Oh, well, when that happened, I was more dead than alive already, Everything hurt. But before, I didn't even put attention to it. So it so happened that later on, when things got easy, this medic is running along the road, and he heard me yell, and he comes close to me, and he looks at me, and he says, don't move. And he turns to me and says, from here on, he says, remember, You got to be on your chest. Don't get on your back at all. Stay like this. Says, I'm gonna give you a shot of morphine, and then I'm gonna send for you, or I'll come back for you. He gave me a shot. Oh, before he did that, I felt that he pulled something off of me. And he told me it was a piece of shrapnel, but I never saw the piece. And he threw powder in my open wound. He threw a lot. And then he gave me a shot, says, I'm gonna give you a shot of morphine, I'll be back for you. And he took off. No, the morphine knocked me out right away. And I didn't wake up until I was in the collecting station. That's the way they called it at the time. And I was laying there in the ground in my chest, and I looked to the side, nothing but wounded soldiers on both sides. There are a lot of them. It was a big open field. And I see the doctors checking one by one. And they were tagging us and putting a tag. And in this tag, they knew where they were going to send us. So when the doctor came to me and he asked me, and I said, well, I told him the story I just told you. And then he said, okay, he says, you're probably going to be in the hospital about 3 months. So we're going to send you back to the hospital in England. But if I would have been hurt badly, I would have gone back to the States, and they would have put me back to the States. But they sent me back to England. And in a way it was all right, but I don't think that I was fortunate enough, because I still stayed, and if I would have gone back to States, it would have been beautiful. So I went back to England, and what happens in England, no more room in the army hospitals. So from then, the Navy hospital took me in, and I was with them for about 2 weeks. It was real nice. They treated me real nice in Birmingham in England. And that's the story of my wound. Schooling. I was able to go to USC, and you know USC is not cheap. Well, I went there, but not as a dentist like I wanted it. I went there to study electronics, and I went to American Television Laboratories, which was handled by USC, and then I took the regular class for junior degree engineering and an engineer. And from there, Hughes, I worked for Hughes Aircraft. Now at Hughes is where I really learned my electronics, because I went and worked for the government, and I was at Culver City. I went to the best job of them all at the Century Plaza, Westin Hotels. That was the best job. I wish I would have found that job from the beginning. But my time at the hotel was beautiful, because they paid me good salary, and then on top of that, I could travel all over the world, and I don't pay for the hotel. Whatever Westin has hotels. So I got a chance to go to Cancun, go there, go all over the place. That was my job, the third job I had in my life, until I retired in '92.